Well, hello crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and I have a super fun, pretty easy project to do with you today. We're going to make a summery rope wreath. Let me show you what's going to be involved. We're going to use some painter's tape. We might use some of these little seashells from Dollar Tree. We are most likely going to be using some of these plastic sand dollars and starfish. We're going to be using, most likely, this is a project that I'm going to kind of do live. We might be using one of these hula skirts from Dollar Tree. I'm not going to use these, but I just wanted to show them to you. These are little wreath forms that you could use if you wanted. This is the one we are going to use. It's a square wreath form from Dollar Tree. It was $1.25. I like this shape. It's different. We will most likely be using some of these little zip ties. You could use a rubber band also. We're going to use some painter's drop cloth. No, sorry, canvas duck cloth from Walmart. And the main ingredient is rope. Okay, so this rope stuff that we're using for this project is this. It's nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Each one is 6.8 feet long. You can see that right here. Each one, and I have five of these. Why do I have 5 and not 6? Because I went out this morning looking for a few more, and I should have grabbed them like a few days ago when I saw them. I went to 2 stores and I could not find any. So I'm using what I have, which is 5. Ideally, you would use 6, so we'll use some of this. And let's just start at the very beginning. Let me set some of this aside. All right, the first thing we're going to do, well, let me hold this to tell you, is we need to cover this up with something that will sort of blend in with the color of the rope that we'll be using. You could use a creamy colored burlap. You could use a creamy colored ribbon. I'm just going to use some strips that I'm going to tear from this painter's drop cloth, and we're going to glue it, and we're just going to wind it around like a mummy just to cover this wreath form up, okay? So, of course, I've already started working on that, but let's tear one more strip. So I didn't measure how wide these are. It really does not matter. I'm just eyeballing it. I love to tear canvas duck. There's something very oddly satisfying about that. So, put that over here. I'm going to pull some of the strings off just so they don't get in our way. And it's wrinkled, but it doesn't matter. I wouldn't take the time to iron it. I don't think that's necessary. Okay. So, like I said, I have already started on one, and this is where I am. The back is messy. You could come back and just glue a thinner strip of this all the way around the back if you wanted to make it look nice. But this is going to probably go on the door to my pantry in the kitchen, and I don't care what the back looks like. So the back looks messy. Okay, let me grab my hot glue gun and we'll get this puppy finished up, and then we'll move on to the next step. And I am kind of excited about using this hula skirt material. I have an idea for that. Okay, so I'm going to start on the back, and I'm just going to glue the end of this like, let's see, let's start right there. Okay, and then we're just wrapping this, whoops, I'm wrapping the wrong direction. Trying to remember, how did I do this? Yeah. We're wrapping this just like a mummy, basically. And you just need a little bit of glue to start your piece. Okay, so then I'm just going to basically, oh shoot, twist it around the wreath form and pull it just a little bit. I'll show you in just a second. And you're going to glue in a couple of spots as you're going along. See, so that's the back, and this is what the front looks like. And I'm cool with the fray. I think that actually is nice. I like that. Okay, so I do want to do a little bit of glue to hold this in place because we're going to be gluing our rope on here, and I just want to make sure it's secure. Okay, the hardest part about this project is figuring out what to do in the corners. And I've done it multiple different ways. So, let me look. How is everyone doing? I didn't say any of my normal stuff. Hey, I'm Hiedi Scott. Let me know if you have any questions. At the beginning of this video, I told you where everything came from and what all the basic ingredients were. This is canvas duck from Walmart. It's just an inexpensive kind of canvas. And yeah, if you have questions, let me know. Feel free to sprinkle. That's always good and appreciated. I want this to slide as far over so that I can kind of glue it in the corner. Just having a time with this corner. I don't know what the deal is. Okay. So you can do this however you want to do it. It's going to mostly be covered up anyways. And I'm hoping this one piece will be long enough to go all the way. Okay. Yay, I made it. Okay, and I have another project to show you that that I did before that is similar but not the same. And it is this. I just replayed this video recently. This is one of my favorite projects. I have it hanging right here. I tend to love everything that's really neutral. But then in clothing, I like bright colors. So this is a wreath form that looks just like these, but it was bigger from Dollar Tree, I believe. And you can see when you're using a ribbon and it's round, it's easier to just keep going around and around and around. But this makes it so that you don't see the edge as much. And this was a braided wreath. We're going to do something similar to this, but we're going to do kind of a beachy thing. So, okay, we are pretty much good to start with that. Okay, then the next thing you want to do, like I told you, I have 5 packages of this 6.8 feet long nautical rope that looks like this. And before I came live, I started my braid. I started it by putting a zip tie, a couple of zip ties around it to just to get it so it wouldn't unravel, okay? And I am gonna do a little tape here at the end of my desk to hold it while we finish braiding, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just using, this is the easiest thing to do. You just take some painter's tape and put it on your, on your braid and tape it to your table. And then that allows you to be braiding. Okay, so since I only have 5, and sometimes you just got to deal with what you have. 2 of my sections, we're doing a regular braid with 3 pieces. 2 of them have 2, and then this center one has 1. So it's just a regular braid, but you want to kind of pull your pieces so they lay as flat as possible. And if possible, you want to keep your tension about the same all the way through it. Okay, so I'm finished here. It looks like one of my pieces was definitely shorter. And I'm just going to take a zip tie and zip tie this whole thing together at the end. And this is kind of difficult because these zip ties are little. When I was doing the other ends, I found that it was easier to use some pliers to grab a hold of this little tail and pull it through. Come on. Alternatively, you could use a rubber band or some tape or, okay. So there we go. Okay, and I'm going to use some regular tape, and I'm going to cut off the other ends of this about the same length as this. Putting tape around the ends of each piece about where you're going to cut them will keep these from getting all unraveled, which is a mess. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You just wrap a piece of tape about the area where you're going to cut and pull it tight. This is going to be tucked somewhere into one of the wraps, or we might have to just cover it up. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we're going along. Almost everything for this project, I'm trying to think what didn't, came from Dollar Tree. So it's, let's see, I have 5 pieces of rope at $1.25. That's what, about $6.25. And then I have some seashells, and the wreath form was $1.25. I mean, this is a pretty affordable wreath. Okay, so I have tape on all of these pieces now. And this one already had it. So I'm just going to cut this off. And I will hang on to these pieces to see if there's a future project of some sort that I want to use it for. We used these when we made our angels when I was in Canada. Do you guys remember this? These were these little angels that we made out of this kind of rope. So maybe I'll do something like that again. All right. Okay, so this is what I have. And I'm sure it's going to fit. It's probably going to be too long, but that's okay. We'll work it out. All right, so let's get our wreath form. And I'm going to like begin and end towards a corner. So what I think I'm going to try to do is poke. I don't know if you can see. is poke my end here underneath the, oh, I should have had off the zip tie. Can you see how I've basically just poked it in there? And then I'm going to use a whole bunch of glue. And I want it to lay as flat as possible on our wreath. You know what? I'm going to push my camera back just a little bit further, which means I won't be as close up, but it will give you a little bit bigger view. Okay, so when we get to the corner, we're just gonna, manipulate it to go around. And I'm just gonna lay down a ton of glue. You could use some E6000 as well. And I will probably, when this is all dolled up, I'll come back and add even more glue. I want to be able to hang this up in my kitchen. It's gonna be pretty for summer. I am using my Surebonder Cool Shot low temperature hot glue gun today, and always pretty much, because it really stinks to get a hot glue burn, and this I feel like it's lower than even a regular low temperature hot glue gun. You guys are so cute. I love all those sunflowers and bees and sprinkles. Okay, so when I get to the corner, then I'm going to want to sort of, manipulate this a little bit to get it to stay in the corner. And this is for me, for my house. So I am not super persnickety about stuff. How do you like that word, persnickety? That's like a word that my grandmother used a lot. I love that kind of old-fashioned country language. Okay, and let's keep going. The glue gun needs to get hot. This is going to be so pretty. And I have this idea to finish it off. When we get there, there's tons of options. So, so you don't have to necessarily do yours exactly the same as I'm doing mine. I really just want to give you the idea and the basic parts of this, and then you take that idea and run with it. But while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up, I just wanted to show you. This was a project that we did, I think this was 2 summers ago, and this is made from one of these Dollar Tree hula skirts, and then this is an embroidery hoop, and then those are just beads. And I have this hanging here in my craft room. This is also one of my favorite things that I've made in a long time. So let me hang it back up. It's just different, but it's that neutral look again that is what my decorating style is, mostly. Okay, so let's start our corner and kind of I will definitely be coming back to glue individual pieces down flatter. But this is good for right now to give you the general idea of it. if I had been able to find a larger wreath form at Dollar Tree, I would have bought it. But I don't know. I did not hit my Dollar Tree at a good time when I went this morning to look for one more of these things of this nautical rope. They had nothing. It's so funny with that store. I know you guys are always telling me, Janet, I'll tell you what persnickety means in just a second. You guys are always telling me that your Dollar Tree is terrible, blah, blah, blah. They don't have anything. You know what? I think it's just completely hit or miss. It makes no sense. Like one day, it's the best Dollar Tree in the whole world. And then the next day, they have nothing. So my Dollar Tree can also be terrible. And this morning it was terrible. I couldn't find, I'm starting to think about Christ and crafting on Sunday. And my plan is that we're gonna make some journals. We're gonna do decoupage with vintage dictionary pages. We're gonna do some journals that will have a Proverbs 31 quote on it, and we'll talk about all of that. So I was looking for some composition notebooks, which I know they almost always have, but of course, today, there were none to be found. So yeah, my Dollar Tree is terrible some days, just like yours. And today was one of those days. I couldn't get anything that I was looking for. Okay, we're rounding the corner and we're almost getting to the end, and then we're gonna have to figure out what in the world are we going to do? And I'm just kind of trying to tighten up this braid. This is so pretty. I will hold it up in just a second to show you. It's pretty just like this. And it'll be better when I get everything pulled down and glued on. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Great texture. And this is gonna look great in my kitchen. My walls and my kitchen cabinets are all painted this color called Soji White, which is, it's not really a pure white. And I think this rope is gonna look fabulous. Okay, so I'm gonna go to about right here. Pull this tighter. And that means we need to do another zip tie to cut this piece off. Where are they? I don't know where these little teeny zip ties came from. I think they came from Joann's or Hobby Lobby. But you can get stuff like zip ties. You could even use wire if you want. Okay, let's cut this tail off. And then, let me just think for a moment. That's not going to be far enough down. Let me try it one more time. And stay with me because the interesting part is coming very soon, I promise. I almost think I just want it to go straight here, and then we'll cover up this place that is blank. So let's try this one more time. It would be helpful in this project if my zip ties were a little bit bigger. These are so teeny. Okay, and I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna just risk it and I'm not gonna tape all the ends. I'll pull the ends back over the back and see if I can glue them down there. We'll work it out. We'll figure something out. Okay, so this is where I am right now. Isn't it pretty already? Yeah. This is quite glue intensive. Okay, so I'm going to figure out what to do about this. I think, is there a way I could make this make sense? Like it's part of the decoration? I don't know. We'll fiddle with that. We'll figure that part out and fiddle with that in a little bit. Okay. All right, so then the next thing is I'm going to be using some of these sand dollars. They're not real. They're from Dollar Tree. They're made out of plastic. We did some fun crafts with them this last week. I showed you how to decoupage some napkins onto them and make these pretty little hangy thingies that could go on a Christmas tree or just could be hung on a bookshelf or something like that. So we're going to use some of these, not sure how many, and we're going to use some of these, which these are little starfish that are also from Dollar Tree, not sure how many of those, and we're going to use some of our hula skirt. So basically how this hula skirt is attached to the thing that you tie around your waist, and this is an adult one so it's longer, is each piece is like a slip knot over it. So I'm just going to grab a bunch and pull them off the string and we'll cut them. And depending on how big or full you want your doodad, I think this is good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a knot in the center. Try to pull the tail through it. And then I'm going to pull this tight. And this is going to be part of the decoration that I'm going to put to cover the ending spot. Now this is way too long, so I'm going to just take each end and clip it in my garbage can. I'll put this up here because I don't want these pieces all over everything. One side seriously smaller than the other, but this looks just like a fringy, I don't know what. Okay, and we are going to figure out how we're going to deal with this corner. I might just take a piece of this and kind of glue it over. I think that's what I'm going to do. I should have cut my tails a little bit longer here so I'd have more to pull over. But this is part of what my videos are about, is showing you what mistakes, what things you can avoid, and what is going to work the best. So I'm just going to lay a whole bunch of glue on this. And then I'm going to put part of my piece. Can you guys see that? I don't know. You know, hindsight is 20/20. So I know there's other ways to do this, and maybe you know what those are, and you'll do, if you decide to make this kind of a wreath, you'll do it the proper way, unlike me. Tighter. Give myself just a teeny bit more room. There we go. Okay. What do you guys think so far? Do you like this idea? I hope you do. I feel like I wanted to do a different kind of project today, and wreaths are not my strength. I know you guys will tell me all the time, why don't we do a wreath or a floral wreath? And I'm like, ooh, my sister got those genes, I did not. She makes great wreaths. But this is going to have kind of a lump in the corner, but that does not matter for me, because we're going to decorate this corner, and I think you'll never notice it from the front. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom left corner. And I'm going to do decorations on either side, the bottom left and the top right. Okay, and if you joined on late, wow, there's 592 people. Oh my goodness, and thank you guys so much for all those stars. If you haven't sprinkled yet, but you like this project, I would love it and really appreciate it if you would. Anyways, the main ingredient for this craft is this nautical rope made with cotton from Dollar Tree, and it's 6.8 feet long. Okay, and this is just a little doodad. Oh, persnickety. Somebody asked me what that means. Persnickety to me means that you're fussing over all the little details and getting things, wanting things to be like perfect. That's my idea of what persnickety is, and I can be persnickety about my projects not having them look a mess on the back when I'm giving them as gifts. But when they're for my house, I generally just don't even care. This is perfect. This is going to exactly work to cover that lump and make it seem like it makes sense. So let's just put a whole bunch of glue right here where our knot is going to be. It does seem longer. Okay, and let's do some faux seashells. So I was thinking that we could tuck we might do the seashells up here and do some sand dollars down, or some starfish down here. I want them to be over the top? Yes, I do. Okay, and I also got out some real seashells that I will be playing with off camera. And I was just thinking, do I want to tuck a few real seashells into the project to cover anything up? And I think the answer is yes, I do. So let's do, looking for the ones with the prettiest front. I'm gonna throw this one in here and scooch it in. Seashell right there, and you'll never know that I had a let's do that little one. I was having a hard time figuring out how to I might add some of those all around it. What do you think? And I have some of these little ones that I could put on there too. These are also from Dollar Tree. So do you guys have any good ideas? What do you suggest? Okay, let's see. I didn't see, somebody was just telling me that they have a lot of seashells that they've collected. I think I'm going to do this over the top. I have a ton of seashells that I have collected on different trips, but also let me tell you about this bag of seashells right here that we're digging out of. Ooh, this is a pretty one. This was a bag of seashells that I found in the wintertime at Goodwill for like $3. And these are a whole bunch, I don't know if these are clamshells or scallops or what, but I mean there must be 100 or 150 of these in there. And then there were some of these strings of these little ones as well. So be looking for seashells, even when it's not seashell time, you know? Do I want that there? No, I want something else. I might add this somewhere. I'm not sure where just yet. I think we'll do another one of these. If you were gonna make this project and plan to use it outside, like on your front door, then I would consider using some hot glue, but also using some E6000. Just to make sure that if the weather got really humid or really hot or steamy, that the hot glue didn't give way and everything fall on the floor. That would be a bummer. This is too big. Here are some of these. And just recently, ooh, and this is a pretty one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but just recently somebody told me that these are called tritons. I'm definitely going to need to add some more interesting stuff in here. But this is basically where we're gonna go. So let me glue down these two things and then I'll show it to you. And then we'll look at this, because this is some other rope that you can get at Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna show you real quick an idea that you could do with this. So stay with me, don't leave just right now. Just put a little bit of glue on this in case I change my mind. Sometimes I have to fiddle, walk away from something, and then when I come back, I can figure out what I want to do. Do you guys like that? And I may also come back and tear a strip of the paint of the canvas duck cloth so that I can cover the back up and have that look nice. But here's our wreath. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments, should I add some of these little shells here and there? Should I add some more of these? Do we need another piece of the hula skirt, which kind of looks like raffia? Should I trim this shorter? I feel like I should. I want to know what you guys think. And then I will just hang it like this on my door. Maybe with something like this. I don't know. I'll figure that part out, and I'll get pictures for sure. My living room and my kitchen are getting beachified, and everything's very neutral, and it's looking really pretty. So sometime in the near future, I will do a Facebook Live and take you around the house so you can see what's happening out there. Okay, so that was that project. It's really not hard. Probably it'll be way easier for you now that you've seen where I was going with it, and you can, you know, kind of make some decisions in advance so that you have things where you want them. Okay, Jackie Lear says trim it up. What else do you guys think? I agree. Oh, add a mirror. Ooh, that would be pretty. Yeah, Patty, come back and watch the replay. And if you guys liked this project, sprinkle. I would love that. You might add a few more smaller shells. I think I will. Okay, and Gloria says she likes it the way it is. More, no more, no less. Okay, and this person said something, turn it upside down. Oh, do you guys like it better this way? If we were gonna do that, then we need to put some more weight down here. And this needs to be way shorter. I don't know. What do you think? Which should be the top? There's so many choices. And you could have done it this, you know, it doesn't make sense now, but you could have done it as like almost a diamond shape. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you was just that you can create a very similar look using this kind of rope from Dollar Tree. It's just decorative nautical rope, $1.25, and this is 9.5 feet long. Or alternatively, this year, they have this, which is blue and cream, and this is 5 feet long. And you can do a braid. And that's what I did with this piece right here. I did this and I just hung on to it. I did this at the time that I was making this. And I think this was my practice. Anyways, I will get pictures of that again. You could do something like this size and cover this wreath form with some burlap ribbon. You could do something small like this. And if you wanted, you could even put a piece of canvas on the inside. I don't know where my canvas has gone to. Oh, here it is. So imagine, just imagine that I had glued a piece of canvas in the center, and then we were doing, and you know, of course it was trimmed, and we were doing something like this, and we could do a stencil in the center. We might do that. I don't know. I braided myself. Yeah. Okay, several of you guys are saying that you like this project with this at the top. Well, you know, I will fiddle with this probably for the rest of today. I'll go to bed, my brain will be thinking about it. And either later tonight or tomorrow, I will get it all finished up, and I will put pictures of this here in the comments, as well as just over at, here at Dreamy DIY, or at DIY Dreaming. But that's what I wanted to mention. If you have not joined my group, which is a free group, a place to get even more craft ideas where you can share pictures of the things that you're making, it's called Dreamy DIY. I would love for you to join, and I would love for you to share pictures of your projects if you decide to do something like this over there. We'd all love to see it. The more ideas, the better. It just gets your wheels and your brain turning. All right, we'll do a this or a this. Say something to me in the comments. I have a runny nose. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions. Almost everything came from Dollar Tree. If you missed the beginning, then go back and watch the first few minutes of this for the basics of the wreath. And oh, somebody's saying they want to do this braided wreath in the Cancer shape, in the ribbon. I think that would be lovely. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I am loving this idea, and I hope that you are too. And I will see you guys tomorrow for something, a quick and easy project of some sort that's either faith, family, or flowers. And then on Sunday, I really hope you'll join me for Christ in Crafting. We'll be talking about what is a Proverbs 31 woman, why is that important, and we'll be making journals out of composition notebooks. So we'll be doing a decoupage project using some old paper, but you could use scrapbook paper or whatever you want. So I hope you'll join me on Sunday for Christ in Crafting. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.